Hello everyone. Once again, I'm going to be cutting some more wood, making little figurines and sorts, basically to sell if you want to do that, or keep them as souvenirs. Anyway, so I'm going to show you some of my work that I've been doing and how I go about proceeding to do so. It's really not that hard. I'd advise you give it a try if you have the equipment, and there's nothing complicated about that. I'll even show you how to make it. So here we go. I'm going to show you some samples. As you can see, I've been doing very busy lately. This is just a small sample of what I've been doing as of late and selling them to coworkers. There's a limit to the imagination. In this case, I did a toucan, a cardinal, St. Patrick's Day. I did a little clover with a rainbow, and I have a lady posing over here. That's one of the popular ones as of late. So these are fairly easy to make. You just with one plank of wood, I can make 9 of these. If you sell them at $10 each, that's $90 right there. I have this 8-foot plank, 1x8, that I just purchased from Home Depot. It was with tax around $18. It's going a little on the high side, but from here I would measure. As you can see, I already have lines put on here, measuring 10.5 inches on each section there. I figured that's enough. All that's left is a little tiny piece, so if you want to go a little bigger than that, it's up to you. I'm happy with 10.5. It's a nice easy number, and as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 whole pieces, so I can make 9 objects with that. And then I shall cut the pieces now to each separate section. Anyways, one skill saw here, chop all the lines I need on all the pieces I'm going to need here. So any which way you want to do it, you got a little table higher than this, more power to you. There are my 9 pieces. They're like 10.5 inches by about 8 inches each one, and each one I can make whatever pretty much I desire. I'm going to show you how to make the woman though. That's going to be the one. After that, it's up to you guys, whatever you decide want to do. Now, when I made this woman, I basically free-handed. I copied, at least I can draw, but I copied it from online. I saw an image, and I basically copied it. I just drew it out by hands, and you're just going to find it up a bit before I get started cutting it. So this case is I already have my first one. I can go ahead and just trace it out and make copies of that one, so I can make a whole bunch of them at this point. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to follow this. I'm going to trace it. But if you want, feel free to, free hands, freestyle, whatever you decide to do. I did the same thing with the toucan. I free drew it. You got to erase it if you find you made a little mistake. And just kind of clean it up a bit and get it to where you want it. And then go ahead and just start chopping away. All right. Like I said, I traced it in this case, and I have the image of a woman here. Now, if you want, you can get maybe a piece of plastic or some thick paper perhaps, and draw it on there and cut it out and use it as a template. So there's options. There's plenty of options. I'm sure that many have tried that direction. I personally like to freestyle, and I just go ahead and use the first copy as a template, like I say, and from then on I can just keep on going again and again and again. Same thing with all the other animals and objects that I make. This is my jury-rigged scroll stalling. It's actually a hand jigsaw that I attached it upside down with a couple of screws here, because the screws do have holes to attach them to something, and I did it upside down, as you can see. I just basically I got a thick piece of wood, just put some legs on it, nothing complicated about that, and then I cut a slot here so this will fit, and then of course I put an extra piece of wood, just a thin piece, just to kind of level it out so it's nice and flat instead of just bumping into this, and it works just fine for me. And that way, as I cut, I can control my cuts much more easier than just trying to use the hand jigsaw. Now, you can buy a scroll saw if you want, say $200 or $300, and it should work just as good. But in this case, I already had this set up, and it's a lot cheaper. It's a little primitive, but it works fine for me. Okay, as for my lady here, we're going to cut it. Preferably, I want to start cutting the inside of her arms first. What you can do is get a drill bit that's the same thickness as the width as the blade of the jigsaw, so that once you put it on there, you can start cutting right away. So I will use this in my hand drill and drill just a couple holes, one there and one there. That's the only thing I need to do in terms of drilling. The rest, I just contour and just go around and cut as needed. Just a couple holes. And like I said, I would rather cut the insides of the arms first. You can see I just put the blade through the hole, and once I start up, I just start cutting away. I wish I could show you while I'm holding this my phone camera, but it's a little more difficult. Let me just try to do the best I can with this for the moment. Oh, I didn't even plug it in. Hold on. Okay, anyway, just kind of give a quick idea. I'm going to need both my hands, but just to give you an idea, I can just manipulate the wood round and round and push it forward and backward. It's very easy to do. Just don't push too hard, because then you might break the blade or something. So I will proceed to chop. All right, you can see I already cut the holes for that. Next, I'm going to cut the outline all the way around, little by little, make sure nice and shapely. Just as a warning, please use safety glasses, and if you want, wear a mask, because sometimes there's a lot of powder too. And as you can see, it's not like I have any safety stops or anything like that, so while you're cutting, exercise caution, just keep your fingers away from the blade, because you can see there's no special cover, nothing like that. This is a jury-rigged setup. I take no responsibility for your fingers getting chopped off if you do it wrong. All right, I did the cutouts. Now when it comes to the neck area, near the chin and all that, you just have a lot of patience. So just little by little you cut until you get the shape you wanted. At this point, I got some 60 grit sandpaper, nothing fancy, and just go around and sand on those rough spots. And if you want to fine tune it a little bit, you can use a rat tail file just for certain areas maybe that require a little more curvature, and then you'll be ready for painting. All right, I cleaned her up a bit. She's basically ready for painting. But before I go that route, every woman needs a stand in this case. So I have here a 1x3, or you can use a 1x4. It's up to you, whatever your preference. And I kind of mark it, like where I want her to stand and near the middle. But I want to see how wide I want. So if you want to conserve wood, or if you just want to make it longer, it's up to you. I like to conserve a little wood. So I go over here to where she's at and kind of mark what I'm going to do. And that's the piece that I'm going to cut off. Again, you got your little triangle, bring it up to the mark, scribe it, voila, ready to cut. I'm going to use the scroll saw to cut this one instead of getting the power saw. All right, got my base cut, and I scribed a line. Basically, I just measured a halfway point, and I scribed a line down the middle, because that's where I'm going to put a couple of screws somewhere. It doesn't matter exactly where, as long as it's, holding the woman in place. Now, you can leave it like that. To me, it looks kind of tacky, just a rectangle. I like to give it a little curve to the ends of it. And to do that, I like to use a little protractor to, I basically go and put it on here, approximately, and then I just scribe it. A little, a semicircle on one side or the other. And then I go ahead and cut it with the scroll saw. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, as you can see, I scribed it, like I said. Just put this compass in place, like have the pencil right at the very edge and just scribe a mark like that on both sides. How are we cutting around here? Just give it a little style. It's up to you. You can cut corners instead. You can do that, measure and cut them. Whatever style prefers. I just personally like this because it looks a lot more neater. There you go. Cut them round like that. I just want to do is sand them up. And then next, I'll be pre-drilling a couple of small holes where the screws are going to go. That way we don't split the wood if we just put screws in straight into it. The holes will prevent that. Okay, at this point, you can go ahead and paint your woman and your base. I pre-drilled a couple of holes, have them ready. And I'm going to paint the base red. And the woman, she's going to be black. I have black spray paint. Whatever color suits you. I like the silhouette look, so just only take it, put some gloves on, maybe wear a mask, and go to town. I like the spray paint better because it seems to have a more smoother effect, and it dries pretty fast too, actually. So I might give it a couple of coats, one on each side. When you're done with that one, it dries out, flip it over, do the same thing on the other side. You don't have to do that with the base though. Okay, well, we have our paints are now dry. The images are ready. You can pick them up. Clean hands preferably, so you don't get a lot of powder on there. Anyways, the red base is ready. All we have to do now is put these screws. I'm put them underneath. They're 1 1/4 inch screws. Whatever wood screws will work for you, but 1 1/4 inch seems to work fine because that's just enough to go right through and attach to the base. Also have a little bit of wood glue too, so put it at the bottom of the lady there before I attach it. So I'm going to add the screws in first to make it easier, and then I'm going to hold her in place and then tighten them down with the drill. Okay, I got the screws attached from the bottom, and they're just sticking out just a little bit. Sorry about that. They're sticking out just a little bit, so when I put the lady on there, I can kind of press it into the screws a bit, keep her kind of from sliding around because I'll have a little bit of glue, and then I'll go ahead and torque it down while holding the lady to the base. I wish I could show you that, but I only have so many hands, so I'll have to show you after it's done. And there we go. I attached her, 2 screws, a little bit deeper than the wood itself, just a little bit, so that it doesn't get in the way when you place it down and stand her up. And basically she is ready, done. 2 colors, carving, attach them together, voila. You can make 9 of these, sell them at $10. It's $90. Now that's pretty cheap, really, because you can probably get $20 to $30 each, and so you can do the math on that. I only do it $10 just for coworkers, and I haven't expanded my operation yet. I only do so many at a time, but it is what it is. And I hope you enjoyed this, and give it a shot. Any questions, comments, criticisms, feel free to drop a note on my YouTube channel. Until then, have a wonderful day.